We have one more discussion before we give out awards today. All right. New panel members, get mic'd up. It's lights, camera, confidence, the secrets to mastering the on camera game. Our moderator for this one, you met him yesterday, Carlos Vargas, founder and digital architect of Bezalel Digital. He's being joined by founder and CEO of Advantage Video Systems, Jeffrey Wise. And we have Kellyanne Fidio, General Counselor and Director of Satellite Team. Big round of applause for our three panel members today.
Here. 30 years on the technology and marketing side. Today we have two esteemed guests with me here that probably have a lot more experience in different areas, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, I was I was setting up in the other room. I thought it was Augustus that one, and not Augustus this one. But hey, we're all here. We're gonna have fun today. Lights, camera, action, baby, right?
yeah.
So to give you a little background of who I am, I've been in the broadcasting industry for over 30 years. I've built over 250 TV stations. I've built and designed production companies, post-production companies, visual effects companies such as Marvel Studios, building visual effects systems, editing bays, working in cloud storage, working in archiving, asset management, working on as a tech supervisor on over 150 movies. What tech supervisor does is just settles on all the equipment needed and organizes it and finds out where we can get it and all that. Um, and so I've been doing that for 25 years. And I recently opened a new company called Studio 360s in Beverly Hills. We have a giant facility where we create TV shows, we create productions, we have independent films, we have TV shows, reality, all kinds of stuff that we're producing up there, and we also have our own TV network called Traverse TV, that's in 192 countries. It's kind of like a Netflix, and you put your shows up there, but you can monetize it and gain all the content and all that stuff. So we work a lot with that. We work a lot with modeling agencies and working with them to get them on camera, and work with a lot of influencers. I've built green screens, digital signage. I've worked with over 100 churches in this country, designing them. Work with schools, work with esports. So just a minor little bit of stuff in the production industry, and so I've done that, and that's me.
My name is Kellyanne Fidio. I think this is working. Can you? Oh, here we
There
go.
you go.
I've been fortunate enough to have a very diverse, varied career, starting as an attorney, then an entrepreneur, and my proudest accomplishment is as a mother. And I've had many forums to engage in public speaking and personal branding. And I've learned a lot along the way, and I'm still not perfect. And it's something that you constantly can work on to get better, and I welcome anybody's feedback after this. I am an extraordinary life architect. I work with men and women to help them design and execute their vision of what their happy life is. And I'm also fortunate enough to work with an amazing company called Satellite Teams, where we connect businesses with the world's top remote professionals. And really looking forward to this discussion today. Thank you.
So I think that we're gonna have some fun in here because the whole idea is lights, camera, confidence.
Absolutely.
So I think that the question comes: we know what lights are.
We do.
Well, that is that can be a daunting thing.
Yeah, correct.
You know,
We know cameras. There are a couple around here, but the thing that we probably don't see a lot is confidence.
absolutely. And one of the things I think we were talking about was we had a little discussion yesterday, and we were talking about that most people fear public speaking over death, over death. I mean, that's about as final as it gets.
Let's do a quick poll. How many of you can right now get here on stage and will be perfectly fine? Oh, so we are in a different room.
We're with
But
a bunch of marketers. Come on, they know
Well,
what they're
But
doing.
there's still a number of them that didn't raise their hand. There was still over half the people here did not raise their hand. It's hard to see with the lights, but you can. I saw a lot of people didn't raise their hand. So it would be fun to maybe we can find out what is it do you think that prevents people from having that confidence?
It's interesting. A lot of times I look at myself. I started get with the mic probably around 5 years old,
That's good.
and I was at our church, and they gave me the mic so I can sing a song. And then I started talking, and they had to fight with me to take the mic away. And when I look at that experience, it was actually the idea of I want to be authentic on everything that I do. It's not about
Right.
perfection. And I think that I have learned that part for what I do to be authentic, who I am, doesn't matter where I go. So I think that for me, that's one of the keys to be authentic. That drives then my confidence to move forward.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more with that. We were talking about this yesterday, and I'm sure everybody in this room has done some sort of personal development. They work on that. I've met some of the brightest and talented people at this conference, and when you know yourself and you know what your worth is, and you're not worried about seeking validation from others, that just allows you to be your most authentic and genuine self. And when you can be that and not fear criticism or hate or whatever it is, it just makes it so easy being confident. And when you truly are in a mindset of wanting to serve others and to help others, and that shines through, you really can't lose.
Yeah, I do stand up a lot, and when I do stand up, many comedians get up there and say, I have to make everybody laugh. I want them to laugh at my jokes. I want to be, I don't look at it that way. I don't look at my performance is for them to enjoy themselves. My performance is for me to enjoy myself. I tell my jokes that I like. I tell jokes that I think are funny. If you think they're funny and you get enjoyment out of it, that makes me happier. But when I get up and perform on anything, I'm there for, I know it sounds selfish, but I'm there for myself. I'm there to do the best that I can do for me. And if you happen to find enjoyment in my performance, that's great. If I'm there and I'm concerned about impressing you and making you laugh so loud, then that puts pressure on me. But by taking the pressure and saying, hey, I'm here to have fun, to make myself laugh, to do the best job. If I do a talk show and I'm interviewing somebody, I'm having a conversation with that person, and I'm not caring about you people, although I love for you people to love what I do, but I'm not concerned with that. I'm concerned with me and my guest, or me as a comedian standing on stage, or whatever I'm doing. So that's how I look at it.
It's interesting that we mentioned, and a lot of people said that they could raise their hand. So what we don't do a little exercise.
I like that.
So-
I like that idea.
I would like you, everybody that is here, to stand up, please.
Stand up, everybody.
Come on, stand
Come
up.
on. This is exercise.
This is an
Get in here
exercise. We're
closer.
going to do a little workshop.
Raise your hand.
Shake it out. Shake it out.
Raise your hand up.
So I want to ask each of us, what is the most embarrassing thing that you have ever experienced?
This wasn't with public speaking, but it was in a very important situation when I was talking one-on-one with my new boss. It was my first day on the job in this big civil litigation firm, and the partner that I was working under, he was gone all day, and they put me in front of this box of medical records and files, and I had no idea what the F I was doing. And he came in and he just started ranting at me. And I stood up and he asked me a question, like to answer him. And I stood up and I fainted. I fainted on my first day as an attorney
Closer so we can get camera.
and came to, and he was very kind about it. But I realized then and there that we're all human. And is that going to change my life on my deathbed? Am I going to be remembering that moment? Absolutely not. But it shaped me into who I am because I believe in, again, being authentic, but making mistakes. I wouldn't even consider that a mistake. It was just my body being so nervous. But shit happens.
That's it.
You know what? It happens to all of us.
So if you think about it, what did she just do? She just shook it. Come on, shake it. Come on.
If it were up to me,
No,
I would have a
come on.
DJ back there.
No.
We'd be dancing, ecstatic
Well,
dance party.
Move yourself. Come on, shake it. So why do I ask you to get up? We learn kinesthetically and we remember it. And a lot of times we're talking about lights, camera, confidence. Our confidence comes from actually sometimes not caring because we know that we're going the right direction. Other times we have to face something embarrassing that you actually then say, oh, I cannot do any worse. Like one time I was actually at a stage and they asked us to turn around and shake your booty. Literally. Come on. Shake it. Come on. Come on. I want to see you moving. Come on. Move.
Do we have any music?
Why
Because
do I-
I'll get this
again-
dance party started.
You're gonna do anything worse.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be amazed that I could be on a call, I could be on stage, and I said, I can't do any worse that in front of a bunch of people that I don't know that I have to shake my behind. So that was just a quick example. We're gonna continue. You can sit down. You have been great participants. Thank you very much. Give yourself a round of applause for participating with us.
Well, I can't even remember my most worst embarrassing moment. That's so embarrassing, because I have had so many embarrassing moments in my life.
Me too.
I can, it's I was at a medical conference once giving a speech, and I was sitting in front of and these doctors, and one was the head of John Hopkins Medical and Research Institute. The other one was, he had 2 Nobel Prizes, one in medicine and one in science, and one was the head of City of Hope. He was a chief surgeon, and I'm sitting up there talking about arthroscopic cameras in surgeries, and I'm sitting there and I'm answering all the questions, and the doctors are getting really, really upset. And then I got off the stage, and all these people are walking up to me and say, "Oh, thank you, Mr. Weiss. Thank you, Dr. Weiss. Dr. Weiss." And I'm like, "I'm not a doctor. I'm a doctor." And the medical doctors who are narcissists are getting really, really upset. And I'm like, and I just got up and says, "Hey, everybody, I am not a friggin' doctor." And I was kind of a little embarrassed. It was a little embarrassing, but I it's really hard to embarrass me. I mean, I've done so many stupid, embarrassing things in my life. From the auditions that I've done and for acting, bit parts, to
What did you learn from all of those? Because that's the important part. What did you learn from your...
I learned to be honest and authentic. If you're honest and authentic in who you are, you can do nothing but shine. Like I said at the beginning, don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself. And
I have to challenge you on that a little bit.
Okay.
I like this. Fight.
Confidence, I can see where you're going with it. Do it for yourself in terms of your confidence. But if you have the intent in your life and everything you do to serve others, how can you... This was the topic at the last discussion. It's been a running theme in this conference. What can I do to serve you first? It just takes away all of the anxiety, all of the pressure, all of the everything, because people want to know, like, and trust people.
I disagree with that, and I'll tell you a reason why.
It's going to be a debate now. I'm an
Okay.
attorney. You better watch out.
I think people need to like you, and to an extent they need to know you. But let me ask you a question: how many people trust their senator?
I don't work with my senator.
Yeah, well, I mean, most people don't trust the politicians, but we vote for them. Most people don't trust people. Trust is very. I get the like. We like this person. We follow them and this and that. But trusting, that no like and trust has been around a long time, and I tend
Let's
to.
not get into a debate. I
Okay.
think we should
All right.
switch topics.
We'll switch topics.
So I think that one of the questions is if our audience they want to learn what to do for themselves and for their customers. And let's start with a home. They have regular computers or regular cameras. How do they start building that confidence so they can be on a call? And I think the previous topic was talking about pitching. So if they're doing a pitch, if they're connecting with their audience, if they're on a video, on a reel, on some way, how can they start building that confidence so they can communicate with their audience?
How about a very practical tip? Does anybody here practice breath work, breathing exercises?
Yeah, I do Tony Robbins, the Tony Robbins breathing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, one way to calm nerves and anxiety, and you can do this while you're speaking, you can do this while you're having a conversation on a Zoom call, it's a very simple breathing technique called box breathing. Does anybody know what box breathing is?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Right, a lot of people
Okay,
out there.
so let's do it together. It'll take a few seconds. So box breathing, you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, and you exhale for 4 seconds. And you just do it until you're centered, but you can do it while you're interacting. So that is a way to calm anxiety and to calm nerves so that you can be your most confident and authentic self when speaking, either on a Zoom call or on stage, and also your posture and the way that you carry yourself. I've been, fiddling around in my chair a little bit because, if I was sitting up here like this, would that look very, no. But I'm going to hold my head high and my shoulders up. And for us women, stick our necks out a little bit, so we don't get that bubble chin thing going on there. And so those are just some practical tips, I think.
That's really good. And I think that the idea, when we were discussing how to come out to the panel, we said, we don't want to just talk. We want to actually that the audience will come out with actual insights that they can go on and they can apply. And it's interesting, like you mentioned, when I am running and getting ready for the podcast, for the video, for a live stream, one of the first things, like you said, you're the one that are delivering the message. So I will say that confidence also, you need to slow down because sometimes we are so excited that we want to talk and it's so quick and our message doesn't come out. And specifically, probably you pick it up that my first language is not English. And then I have a mixture because at home, we also speak Spanish and Portuguese. So then sometimes I'm saying one sentence and the next sentence come out in Spanish and Portuguese. So I have to go slow.
I love that you mentioned that, Caesar. I have struggled with, I call it pacing, because as an attorney, and my father is from the Middle East and he speaks Arabic. He never taught us, but he's a fast talker. And so I've always been a fast talker. And I'm probably speaking even too fast, even right now. But being cognizant of your pacing, of changing the speed in which you speak and being aware, self-aware of that is really, really important.
Absolutely. And I do Toastmasters a lot. And Toastmasters is a great thing if you ever want to learn how to do public speaking. Great organization. And they teach us, when to slow down and don't worry about, people worry about, I have to get everything in. You don't have to get everything in. You have to deliver the message. That's true. And you have to think about what you're going to say. But if you go at an even slow pace and just work on things and say things, one of the things will happen is you'll eliminate filler words. If you know what filler words are, when you speak and you say, well, so uh, that's if you just stop and you can go, okay. So the next subject is, and you continue on.
My bad filler word is you know, you know, you know, like and like doing it now. See? So just being self-aware of those things. So practicing in front of the mirror, practicing, we all have cell phones. Get a selfie stand, practice in front of it, record yourself for a few minutes each day. I really think the audience here, I think we're preaching to the choir. I think you guys are probably, even the people that didn't raise their hand, have all had to engage in public speaking and be on camera at some point. So really, it's just about practicing and always learning from mistakes.
And we all speak in public all the time. We just don't realize it. Whether it's at a meeting, business meeting, talking to your colleagues, with your kids or your husband or your wife or your partner, talking with them all the time. Everybody is speaking and getting and trying to get their message. I'm part of the Big Brother Big Sister program, and my little that I work with wanted a ball, and he talked to me, and he had to convince me that he should get that ball at the store. And it was his sales pitch, but his talking, and he negotiated, and he did a very good job. Didn't get the ball though, but I'm better than he is.
So thinking about the work that we do, there are documentations, information, presentations. I want to go into if our audience need to deliver that message. What have you used to help yourself so when you're on camera that you can deliver it effectively? I'm gonna share. I have tried teleprompters. I have tried applications that read yourself. I have tried anything that is automated. But for me, I find that I just use a regular document and I review my material before I get into the meeting or before I go into a live or a podcast because I want to be, again, the authentic me. Because what I found is that when I was looking at it, my eyes were just moving and then I couldn't come out like, to give an example, when I start one of the podcasts, I go, welcome to the podcast. My name is Carlos Vargas and I'm here with my two co-hosts. And if I am reading that, I go like, okay, welcome to the podcast, because then you have to move the eye. So
I think it takes practice to do teleprompters. So because we use teleprompters all the time at the studio, and it just takes a lot of practice. I did a TEDx talk about 4 or 5 months ago, and the presenter said you can't use a teleprompter. No one can use teleprompters because they knew that people would do the same thing you did, because most people are not used to using a teleprompter. If you use a teleprompter all the time and you're used to using one, they can be an invaluable tool, and it has to be an on-camera teleprompter.
I think the point is that there are aids at our disposal that we can leverage, and you have to be familiar with the setting that you're going to be in. If you're if you're giving a big speech to 1,000 people, what kind of equipment's going to be available, and make sure you know that equipment. But it doesn't. I just did it. Um, Knowing your audience obviously is key. Knowing the equipment that's going to be available to you, knowing in advance, if possible, the lighting, the background, all of these things. It's just being prepared. But I want to go back to the everyday opportunities we have when we're speaking in public. Let's use this event as an example. I'm a big networker and connector. I really enjoy connecting with people. one-on-one or in a small group setting. And when you are your authentic self, as we've, hit that nail on the head so many times, and leading with how can you serve others, and that by being naturally curious and asking questions, you will be able to then present yourself in the most authentic way. Now, if you're up here, we're not going to be having an interactive conversation, but I'm still in my mind treating it. I'm looking at each and every one of you, trying to make eye contact and feeling like we're engaging in some way, because most of our communication is nonverbal.
And I will say that one of the things that you can do is, really just, it's important to know the technology, especially since I'm a technology guy. But what I do to prepare for speeches is, I'll break the speech up into little sections, and then I'll walk around my house and I'll say one part of my speech 20 times in one area when I'm looking in my garden, and then when I go to my kitchen, and then when I go to my living room or my den, and what that does is it takes a visual picture of that paragraph, because we are more visual than we are memory people. We remember things by pictures. Pictures worth 1,000 words. So by doing that, walking around my house and saying the speech in that area, and then actually when I'm on stage, you will see me actually sometimes walk to the left or walk to the right, because mentally I'm walking to that area and recalling that paragraph.
I'd like to make this more interactive. I'm feeling like this needs to be way more interactive. So, does anyone have a magic tip that they can share? It can be something super simple about shining on stage, in camera, at a networking event, at a Toastmasters meeting. Anyone want to share?
Do we have another microphone or?
I have a quick share if no one else.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm also a local entertainer. I do improv theater. The only thing that gets me through those auditions and through that kind of stuff is pretend like no one's watching. Because when you're authentic to yourself, it shines through in your emotion.
Absolutely.
When you're walking in for a director or you're walking in to perform, you're not there for yourself, you're there to solve their problem. So when I walk in and a director says, "Can you do this?" and I either say yes or I try my best. But don't always be afraid of the result, because the journey and the action itself is always so rewarding. I've blown auditions really badly. I've had auditions where I literally forgot how to speak English. And I'll tell you what, when that happens, it's only happened like once or twice, but when it does, you never forget it. And there's so much growth in that process. It's like we said earlier, there's more growth in failure than in success.
That's it. So is there anybody else out there who has a comment? Over there. Can you take the microphone over there and we can get that gentleman? I can't hear you, so we'll just get the microphone so we can hear you, because then it'll also be recorded.
I saw you yesterday. I think maybe today morning you were having 2 necklaces.
Yeah.
Yes, right. So I was thinking, you look like like the way what you defined today. Your dressing was already reflecting it.
My pink outfit.
Then the jacket you are wearing today is kind of a bold. So that already gives a statement. So I think it's very important how you dress up and you reflect who you are through your dress. So that's I think is a testimonial to you, and same to the way the lady is wearing also. Like if I don't know you, but if I see you, you seem like you have a command. You know what you're talking about, and what you told about like neck and all that stuff gives a statement, bold statement. So even if no one is talking, that's a testimonial right away on the spot. That we know what we're talking about. So I think dressing and what you do reflects, especially when you are on a stage. So that's what I wanted to say.
Absolutely. This is a very beautiful woman here, dressed to the nines, beautiful jewelry. Yeah. This guy has a wonderful blue suit on. Yeah.
Yeah, and plus
Thank
the
you.
gentleman, the way you started the conversation, you already made like all the like people like here. Like I could have option to get out, correct? Like, oh, maybe could be a boring. But the way you started, you already got me like as if like I have to attend, because you started in a funny note, like, in a jovial manner. So this conversation don't need to be like a boring. So it was like more like an interactive. And what you guys are doing today, I think, is a very good idea.
Thank you.
So, that is
Thank
a
you.
very great point, and thank you for making it. And if we think I think that somebody in the last panel mentioned that we're always selling, we're always closing. And if you think about it, a lot of times when we're on camera and we're in person, we're one trying to compete. Will this person give me their attention so we can have a conversation? That's the first interaction. But one problem that I see a lot is that when we're going to present our offer or we're going to present our connection to them to ask them for the next step, we rush through it. We go really quick. If we have an offer and we've been talking to them on the phone for 45 minutes, then we want to tell them about the price for the last 2 minutes. And, oh, we talk later. I know that you're busy. So how can we help the audience, and so they can also help their audience? So when they had to present some offer that could be join my call, join my program, buy my services, that they feel confident in saying, here's what I have to offer to you.
So I think that the people when you say I have to close a sale, that's actually the wrong attitude. You don't need the object of any meeting is to get another meeting.
Well, you're closing there. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, everything is a close. Either they close you on or you close them. Every interaction is a close. But if people get there and when my sales team goes out, I don't teach them to get out there and make if the sale comes early, that's fine. But if you keep on creating meetings and getting people more situated and more comfortable with what you have to offer and getting that in there, you can get a much bigger deals and close much bigger opportunities. It's people rush into I have to make this big sale right now, the first meeting, and that's the wrong attitude. It comes sometimes, but the object of a meeting is to get another meeting.
How about you?
Caesar, I want to make sure I understand your question. Carla, sorry. I want to understand I understand your question.
So if our audience need to communicate to their audience, their services, their products, sometimes we don't feel comfortable or confident enough to share. Could be pricing, could be that we don't have the expertise to do it. How can you think that they can develop that so they can communicate that so they can or get the sale, get the next meeting?
I get it now. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry.
No problem.
One of my
No problem.
closest coworkers is Caesar, and that's what was on my mind. I don't want to get back into the no, like, and trust
Yeah, that's okay.
debate, but I'm going to have to go back to that. And when you build true, genuine rapport with somebody or an audience, and they know, like, and trust you, you know that you are serving them with something that they need, and you would be doing them a disservice if you did not pitch them, offer them, because you've already ascertained and assessed that they need what you have and you are serving them.
So that's a really good option. And I would like to hear some of the offers or how does the audience communicate what they do. So I would like to ask for a volunteer and tell me, what do you offer?
We have time for one volunteer statement.
Give us your best pitch.
Somebody.
This is your chance.
Who wants the mic?
Who wants a mic?
Come
Here
on.
we go.
Give us your pitch.
Here we go. I got you.
All right, so I'm an occupational therapist and I have a handwriting program. See, I get nervous when I'm presenting
It's
right now.
okay. You just be you.
pretend like y'all aren't here. Okay, so I have a handwriting program, teaches kids to print legibly using music and videos. It works with typically developing kids, kids with special needs, and it works because kids love it. That's my
great.
pitch.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Love
How
it.
much is that program?
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about how do you offer that program?
There is a workbook and there's also a website. We're also in the process of developing an accompanying app.
Okay.
So
what-
do you hear the wavering in my voice?
Don't worry.
So what's your website?
Rhythmandwriting.com.
Rhythmandwriting.com. Okay.
Rhythmandwriting.com. We're going to all go to rhythmandwriting.com. That was incredible. I would think that that you were very good at standing up and telling us your story and getting out there and giving us all the information that you did. You could add some value propositions to that would extend what you did, and that would be great.
That's
I'm
what
literally hot right now.
Yeah.
what was that?
I'm hot, like
Okay.
about to. I'm
She's
nervous.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Do you love what you do?
I do.
That's
Okay.
very evident.
So when you love what you do, you know that it works, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Take a breather.
Do the box breathe.
Could be box breathe, whatever. You see?
Smile.
Smile.
And then tell us the story again, but this time you have kids?
I do not.
Do you have a husband?
I do not.
Yeah, have a boyfriend?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you have a
Good
mother?
for you, girl.
You have a,
A simple
But
life.
I do have
pretend
God
you're
kids.
talking.
I do have
Pretend
God
you're talking to your mother and just tell her your story.
Okay.
Pretend you're talking to your mother and just tell her your story.
Okay. So I have a product. I work with kids with special needs, and most of the kids that I work with have difficulty learning how to write. And so I developed this program to meet their needs.
Great. Perfect.
And I have somebody I want to connect you with.
I would love that.
So if you see the practice from the first moment when she got up and tried it in front of people with a little bit of coaching, then it actually started making her a little bit uneasy, but then she got better. Go out, try and communicate with other people. Your product will help someone else. She didn't know that she has someone that needs the product. Boom.
Believe in
You're
yourself.
an excellent speaker. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And
Thank
if
you,
you
guys.
want more information
Thank you,
about me, I
everyone.
put some flyers on all the desks. It's Advantage Video Systems. You can find out more about my company there and how we can help you. And go to 360studiosbeverlyhills.com.
We get a
Thank you.
couple good photo shots, guys.
Oh, we got to get one.